Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings. You're tuned in to the Sajdah Saturday Morning Coffee Talks, where we talk about life, love, and business.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
This is Sister Sajdah Muhammad. We are proud to announce that the Sajdah House commemorative Elijah coins are finally here. As we renovate and restore the former home of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have recycled the old copper gutters and downspouts and created a 1-ounce 39mm coin made of 100% pure copper. Each coin is professionally graded and has its own barcode and registration number. This priceless heirloom, made from recycled copper from the messenger's home, is now available at sajdahhouse.com.
I need you.
Greetings, conscious entrepreneurs. You now can take the Mind of an Entrepreneur show wherever you go. I'm now available on Spotify. Just search Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. Greetings, conscious entrepreneurs. Add the Mind of an Entrepreneur show to your Roku TV lineup and catch up on past episodes of all your favorite Mo Today shows.
You belong to yourself. You're an independent people, created from the nation of free people. Yes, sir. You don't need to go nowhere but to yourself. Yes, sir. There will be a great separation. Yes, sir. So I said it is on now.
The college is meant to prepare you for your future. That the time dictates that if we don't do something for ourselves as a people, we will be destroyed. And the aim of the enemy right now is to take us out.
We have God with us. We have Him as our guide. Yes, sir. We don't have to stand around here and ask the question, what must be done? Yes, sir. Get up and let's go and do something. Yes, sir. We cannot sit down. We cannot lay down. Yes, sir. We must get up. Yes, sir. And go to work.
Do you know what real joy is in life? Visioning something and bringing it into reality. That's real joy. Do you know what the next step in joy is? Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity.
Tonight, you need to fasten your seatbelts. We're going to hear from some of the greatest minds in the world. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of trusting our future and the future of our children into the hands of those who don't love us. I believe we need to revitalize black leadership.
Greetings, peace, and blessings. You're tuned into the Sajdah Saturday Morning Coffee Talks, where we talk about life, love, and business. And I'm your host, Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. I see y'all getting the chat popped off. Happy Saturday. How's everyone doing? I'm on location. I had some really important meetings this week, and I'm just kind of waiting for them to reveal to me what they mean. And so I'll tell you all about that at a certain time. One of the things that I do when I have certain types of meetings, like if I have a business meeting, that's one thing, you know, it's a project meeting and I'm talking about the status of everything. But when I have like deeply spiritual meetings that I'm certain are gonna evolve into something bigger, I let them unfold. And I'm very careful not to overanalyze the meeting or have extra conversations before the meeting has begun to unfold for me. And the reason why I do that, let me know in the chat if you all can hear me, because I didn't bring my earphones. And normally when I'm in public spaces, I bring my earphones, but I didn't today. So we're gonna get through this with some of the background noises. I have found this really cool outside space, but since I didn't have my earphones, it didn't make sense. But so what I try to do is stay away from the analysis that can paralyze you, because what happens for me, this is just my process, the analysis, and in the analysis, what you're doing is you're trying to package the data. You're trying to take the data from the experience. What was it? Who said what happened? And you're packaging it and categorizing it so that you can contain and control it. And so when I have something that I know is sort of like divinely unfolding, I let it just unfold and let it just kind of flow in that way. So that's just kind of my process. And when I'm talking to business people, I'm always cautioning us about being careful about over analyzing things. You know, we live in a world where this is just all about data, right? And so if you can, to the extent that you can, if you have somebody else that can analyze data, but I like looking at data that's already happened and finding a way to accelerate the revelation and the evolution of data that is coming to me in that moment, because you're capturing, right? It's like you're capturing and you're analyzing, and then capturing and analyzing, you're boxing and packaging it. And so you decide in your mind what it means or how it should even come together. And so I'm very careful of that kind of thing, because I'm always focused on and hoping to be in situations and to win in situations that are beyond my intellectual capacity. So sometimes we can take a very divine situation and reduce it down to our intellectual capacity. And we do that because it makes us feel safe, it makes us feel good, it makes us go, let's figure out what this is. But what happens in that moment when you do that, you lose that piece that's in that revelation space. And when you start to learn to entertain that energy that is beyond your intellectual capacity, I call it the revelation zone. But when you learn to operate in the revelation zone, then it changes everything, changes your cellular structure. It gets you used to and accustomed to the feelings and the emotions and the reactions that you get when this information is coming in. And the idea is you want to make sure that you're not afraid of the unknown. See, the reason why we analyze and package things is because we're afraid of the unknown. We want to reduce it down and control it. But that's something that we ought to be mindful of. So welcome to everybody. I see y'all in the chat. Let's see who we got here. We got Javon Muhammad said, Assalamu alaikum, sister. Wa alaikum salam. We got Mom said, happy Saturday, everyone. Happy Saturday to you too, Mom. My brother Anthony said, I see the rooftop view. Yep. Okay, good. All right. So everybody's here. I saw some more people in here. I saw Brother Lamont in here earlier. Let me see where his chat is. Yep. I see Brother Lamont here. I see Marvelous Marva. I see Leisha X. I see a whole bunch more of y'all online that aren't saying anything, and that's okay. I see Shafrin Mahru. Welcome, welcome, everyone. So today I wanted to talk about the subject of winning and a winning determination. And let's break down this word. Let's drop my phone. Let's break down this word determination. It's a firmness of purpose, resoluteness, the process of establishing something exactly by calculation or research. That definition struck me because of the use of the word establish. And we all know that in the Holy Quran, the word established is used quite a bit. So he is established on the throne. He is established. And established, in my opinion, let's look it up before I give my opinion, but there's an emotional connection to established, which for me means that there was some type of battle or struggle that caused this to be set up. So established means set up on a firm or permanent basis. So that implies that there was something that occurred that needed to be set up. And then to say that it's now on a permanent basis, he is established, meaning that at some point it either wasn't present or wasn't permanent. It says also to achieve permanent acceptance and recognition for. So when I think about being a winner, and I picked this subject because this week I was having a lot of conversations with you all about winning and having a winning attitude and making sure that we prepare ourselves to win. One thing about me that I've always, and this is something that came from childhood, where I was blessed to always plan on winning. And so at a certain point, I had to understand what losing or failing meant. And I really came to learn that losing and failing is also still winning. What do I mean by that? One of the things where most of us are afraid of is that we just don't want to lose. We don't want to fail. We are afraid of what that means. And we're afraid of somebody else seeing us lose. We don't want anybody to see us fail. We don't want people to see us looking like we're struggling. And it's one of the biggest impediments to our success because we're just afraid of what it looks like. We don't, that person that we've been competing against or that person that we're trying to impress, we don't want them to see us fall down or fail. And we got to get over that because that person too, if they want to establish anything, they're going to fall down and they're going to fail. It's just unfortunate that in this society that we live in, the illusion of winning is what we're forced to behave towards or attune ourselves to, that illusion of winning. But how do we define winning and how do we define losing? We were talking earlier about the revelation zone. And for me, when you're moving into that revelation zone, it's a process. What is the revelation zone? It's where you are operating based on vibration or energy, and things that you're working on are beyond your intellectual capacity. You can't define it. You can't make it up. You can't work the story. So as I'm moving into that process of getting into the revelation zone, because you have to be able to move in and out of it, right? You can't just stay in revelation zone. You have to get out of it sometimes so that then you can go and analyze your data and put your plan together, right? And start playing chess and not checkers. But you have to learn how to play with the magic of the revelation zone, or interact with the magic of the revelation zone, so that you know how to bank on it as you're moving forward and into that zone, and as you're dealing, for example, like with your competition, if you will. So what's interesting is that, and I was going to say this, since I was a child, I was always preparing myself to win. What does that mean? Everywhere I go, I plan to win. And that's not arrogance, that's the vibration that I'm functioning in. So I make sure I look like a winner. I make sure I talk like a winner. I make sure I move like a winner. I make sure I interact like a winner. Why? Because that winning information is what I want to come to me. That high vibration information is what I want to come to me. So if I go into a situation and I'm planning on losing, right? If I'm planning on going, I know this ain't gonna be good, then what's gonna happen? Then it's not gonna be good and I'm gonna lose. So I try to stay at that level, and there's a level of determination, meaning that no matter what happens, I'm always winning. And this lesson is for all of us. No matter what happens, you're always winning. Sometimes you struggle. Sometimes you have pain. And that struggle, that pain, that contrast can be used for a lot of things. Sometimes that embarrassment that you experience where you didn't want somebody to see you going through something or whatever, sometimes that embarrassment is just tweaking you. That's your coach. So you got to know how to play with the emotions. Sometimes that fear that you get, that's your coach. That's your coach saying, okay, you're feeling this fear because now that's your compass. That's your coach. Don't go this way. Or if you go this way, pay attention. So you always want to be in tune, but your determination is what's going to help you navigate through those uncomfortable moments. It's going to help us make the uncomfortable decisions, have the uncomfortable conversations, move beyond the paralysis of analysis, because we got to just get to that point where we learn. And it's unfortunate, but words don't really teach. It's experiences and situations that teach us what to do, how to do, which way to go, and so on and so forth. Now we can study. I'm a big advocate of studying history. And so you can learn from other people's mistakes or other people's struggle and the other people's discomfort. But you have to find your own winning frequency, or your own revelation zone. What does that mean? We talk about this all the time. When our parents conceived us, when God decided that he had something to say, and what he wanted to say looked like this. So this is all an expression of what God had to say at the time. And same thing with each and every one of us. So when he said, I got something to say, and the vibration of what I have to say manifests physically like this. And it doesn't matter if our parents planned us or didn't plan us, God had something to say. What happens, though, in many cases is that we come into a world that is data-driven and information-driven, and we're in somebody else's control. So we get here, we learn how to be afraid, we learn how to be sad, we learn how to have limitations, we learn what we can and cannot do, and we learn rules. And so sometimes as we're learning those rules of conduct, those rules are taught to us encased in a frequency of fear. Better not do that, or that's going to happen. You better not play in the street. You're going to get hit by a car. You're going to die. We have this thing in Chicago that no matter what happens, Black people are always like, oh my God, you're going to die if you do that. But that's how many of us live our lives. It's always about, am I going to die? That's like the worst that can happen. There's a range in the middle where we can be learning, developing, and growing, but we just don't. So that winning frequency is something that we have to take ourselves to no matter what we do. You want to win. You want to be determined to win. You want to establish yourself as a winner. And some people say, well, you can't always win. We were working on my business partners working on a book on his life. And one of the producers that we interviewed said, this is interesting because in the story, they say he's always winning. And I kind of sat back in my seat and I said, why would this person be averse to you always winning? Or to him always winning? What's wrong with that? And I know that a lot of times people want to sensationalize things. They want to come up with the fiction and the things that are going to help them sell the story. But I said, no matter what happens or what happened, he's winning. He's winning because he's learning every step of the way. Whether he's learning not to do that again because you're going to get arrested, or don't do that again because you're going to get hit by a car, but you're learning. You're learning something that you didn't know before. How many of us have had something happen to us and we say, man, I know for sure, one thing for sure and two things for certain, I'm not doing that again. Let me know in the chat. We have all had those kinds of experiences where we're just like, I'm not doing that again, no matter what happens. Because you learn, you evolve, you grow, and it's okay. So what does winning look like to you? Winning looks like always working towards that winning frequency. How are we doing that? We're doing that with our thoughts. We're doing that with our mind. We're making sure that we're not discouraged. What does that mean? Discouraged and disappointment can really mess you up. Think about, as Muslims, we have in our lessons about the disappointment of some of the scientists that did things that changed the universe. Disappointment, dissatisfaction. But at the center of our thought process has to be God. This is what I believe. A lot of people think that they can function and they can live in a world of business without God. Let me tell you something. In spending time in the corporate world, I would get these projects and I would get all these things that I could do. And I would do okay, but I would always leave God at home. I'm getting on these calls, I'm having conversations, I'm flying in and meeting with people, and God is at home. Until one day I said, I can't keep leaving God at home. This is in my mind. God has to come with me. God has to be a part of this process, because if I telescope out and I look at my life from a view overhead, what am I seeing? I'm seeing somebody who's evolving and navigating through a process, and this is just part of that process. So I'm in this situation and I'm learning this for something else. So I can't leave God at home. I gotta always be thinking towards revelation. I gotta always be thinking towards accomplishing something beyond my intellectual capacity. See, because in a warfare environment like the one that we live in, and I call it warfare because there's always spiritual warfare, there's always control happening and strategic moves happening against us to control our minds, to control our money. Other people feel like they got to control you in order to win. So you're always in this state of warfare if you leave God at home. But here's the thing. In that state of warfare, you have so many people, so many things vying for your attention. You got advertisers that spend millions and billions of dollars to get your attention in ways that you don't even know that they're doing, just by the colors that they may set up in a building, just by the materials that they may use when you walk into a store, by the music that may be played. All of these are things that are vying for your attention. And the idea is, in many cases, many business people set it up so that you have to lose in order for them to win. And one thing I teach my conscious entrepreneurs when you book those consulting sessions with me is let me help you learn how to win and help other people win. So you're part of being a conscious entrepreneur is having this win-win attitude. And so there's a selection process that you use for the people that you're around, the people you do business with, how you interact with those people so that it's win-win. Because unfortunately, I know for me, when I was playing the corporate game, somebody had to lose in order for me to win, because that's the game. And so we want to be mindful of that kind of thing. Some of us have to play that game, but you want to make sure you're not playing that game in your entire life, everywhere. And that's one of the mistakes that we make. That's why oftentimes we don't have a winning attitude, because we're conditioned to focus and look for the loss. We're conditioned to prepare for the worst. We're conditioned to pray and pretend like something's gonna happen. So much so that we create problems in our head before the problems even exist. Think about that. How many times have you created a problem in your head, started reacting to the problem in your head, and the problem didn't even exist? So you made up the problem, adjusted your entire behavior around this made up problem, and guess what you're gonna get? You're gonna get the results based upon that made up problem. But what if you don't make up a problem? What if you go, okay, this is not, I'm not gonna lose, or I'm not going to create a problem that doesn't exist. I see that a lot with Black people and Hispanic people when they go into business. We worry about customers that we don't even have. And I always say, I call it the Tyler Perry model. When Tyler started doing the Medea stuff, he was dressing a certain way, he was conducting himself a certain way, it was a certain brand of comedy. He started out in the Chitlin circuits. I know I was traveling a lot, going back and forth to New Orleans, and my cousin and I used to go to the theater in New Orleans to see his plays. And we would just laugh and have us a good time. But he never cared about that customer that wasn't already his. Once he developed that customer base, that niche, he super served his customer base. And he proved or disproved an old business model. What is the old business model? The old business model is that you have to constantly be going for more people, more customers. That's why a lot of times people in business are never satisfied. They're never at all satisfied. They're always going for more. This is not enough. This ain't good enough. And we take that oftentimes even into our relationships with people. It ain't good enough. I need more. Well, guess what? When we're functioning on a vibrational level that's higher, guess what happens? When we super serve that customer base, we super serve those that love us, we super serve those that are with us, and we use that to create the winning frequency. Y'all didn't hear me. You got people that already love you. You got customers that already buy from you. You got people that already support you. Serve them, because they're going to remind you over and over and over again that you're winning, that you're loved, that you're special. They're going to remind you over and over because they keep buying your stuff. They keep coming for you. So guess what happens? When you're super serving them, you're always in that winning frequency. So now when you move about the world, you're attracting things that vibrate at that winning frequency level. But if you're always saying, yeah, I know I got these customers, but they ain't good enough. Or I know I got this husband, but he ain't good enough. I know I got these children, but they ain't good enough. I know I got this family, but they ain't good enough. As long as you keep saying that what you got ain't good enough, then you're functioning on an ain't good enough frequency. And so you're going to continue to attract the ain't good enough stuff. Let me know in the chat if you're getting this. So I call the Tyler Perry model super serving those that love you. So Tyler didn't care if you didn't like him dressing up as a woman, if you didn't like him being silly and pretending he was his auntie or great grandmother, if you didn't like that, he did not care. So I tell customers I tell clients when that customer comes to you, you focus on them. You allow them to put you in a winning space because they already love you. They're already buying from you. They already care for you. And then that frequency becomes so contagious. It becomes so contagious and so fertile that guess what? You're attracting more. You're producing more. You're bringing in more money. You're bringing in more opportunities. You're bringing in more love. Part of the problem is that most of us go to a job and we hang around people all day at work. We go to a job, people don't like us and don't care about us. We come home and people don't like us and don't care about us, and we don't care about them. We live in this perpetual cycle. But you got to find a way to understand the math. It's all math. I use this example all the time. If you got 10 hours in a day, how much of that time is spent at different vibrational levels? Sometimes you got to get gritty. Sometimes you got to go to work, or you got to go to a negotiation and you got to get gritty. But you want to make sure that out of that 10-hour day, that more of your time on the lower vibration is not spent, and that more of the time is spent, if it's nothing else, just focusing on the winning frequency, the high vibration. So when you have your customer base, and even all of us as individuals, even if you don't have a product or service, we're all entrepreneurs. If you're retired, you're an entrepreneur. If you're a student, you're an entrepreneur. Why? Because we don't, those days of the Industrial Revolution where you worked on a job or you was just doing the same thing over and over again for 30, 40 years, they don't exist anymore. They don't exist anymore. So now every job is a hybrid. When you get a job, they want you to do 2-3 jobs in one. You have to manage yourself and manage the job. I've always handled myself like I was a corporation, even if I was working a job. Even when I worked at Burger King in college, I was a business. I was a corporation. I was a brand. And that's how I handled myself, and that's how I saw myself. This here, I might be working at Burger King today, but this is a means to an end. This is going to help me to earn a paycheck. So at the end of the week, I can take care of certain obligations and I can continue to win. So looking at that, I ain't like the job. I ain't like working the drive-through in Iowa in the winter. I didn't like getting off at 2:00 in the morning and not really having a car and having to walk home with a box cutter up my sleeve in case somebody came for me. I didn't like that, but I knew I was winning. As I was walking home in the cold, I felt like I was winning. Why? Because as long as I'm moving towards my goal, I'm winning. A better job is going to come. A better opportunity is going to come. I'm going to stay in this winning zone, and I'm going to keep attracting people, places, and things that align with this winning frequency and this winning zone that I'm in. So I never went to work sad. I knew I didn't like it. I acknowledged the fact that I didn't like it, but I made sure that I was always thinking towards being a winner. And I never said over and over again, this ain't good enough. I just kept saying, thank you. I just kept saying, thank you. Thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What is that doing? What is that thank you? What is that gratitude journal? What is that mindset of thank you? What is it doing? What frequency is it putting me in? What is it doing? It's giving me and putting me in that zone where I'm recognizing a power outside of myself. Let me say this. Some of y'all on LinkedIn, y'all come for me because y'all say, it's just, I don't feel like all the religion and spirituality should be in business. And then somebody said to me in the inbox one time, I just don't feel like our freedom, our quest for freedom should be religious based. And I said, all right. And I end up engaging with the person. And I said, let me say this to you. You and I don't have the capacity, if you will, to win against this enemy that has forces that are way bigger than us. If we don't have divine intervention, it's over with. It's a wrap. Something or somebody has to help us. And so we want to tap into a power that's bigger than ourselves, that's bigger than our enemy, that's bigger than the forces that have been lined up against us. And it works. You know that spirituality works. You know that being God-fearing works. You know how you know? Because these people wouldn't have hijacked religion if it didn't work. You can go back to your history, do some studying. Some people say, well, it doesn't really matter what color God is or what color the different prophets and things like that are. People go, well, it doesn't matter. Well, if it doesn't matter, then why don't I tell you? I don't tell you that Noah was black and Abraham was black and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was black and Buddha was black and Jesus was black and Bhagavad Gita was black. Does it matter? It shouldn't, but it must. It must matter. Just when you think about that and you say that to yourself in your mind and you think, wow, I am really in the image and likeness of this great person. I'm so lucky and so blessed to be in the image and likeness of Buddha, Jesus, Mary Magdalene, the mother of Jesus, all these great people. I'm in that image and likeness. And so I use that to also put me in a winning circle. I use that. So all of that, and I'm grateful for that. I said, man, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to be living in this day and time. I'm grateful to be in a position where I feel like I'm part of the revelation. I'm in that revelationary frequency. So I'm always looking to win. And what is a winner's determination? Like I titled this talk. And this coffee talk, you all know this came about because I like to sit around in the morning and have deep conversations. So if you all were at my house, we'd be talking about winning. And how are you determined to win? And how do you demonstrate your determination to win? How do you demonstrate your determination to win? A lot of people like to say, yeah, I'm gonna win, I wanna win. But how do you demonstrate that? How do you practice? How do you prepare? How do you get in shape to win? You got to get ready so you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. How do you do that? How do you do that? If you say, okay, Sister Sajdah, you got to show. And people say to me, you should be on a major network. You've been doing this since 2009. Your network should be big. Well, I got to stay ready. I got to look the part. I got to talk the part. I got to walk the part. I got to be ready. When I was on radio in DC, I met somebody in the lobby of the radio station who said, ain't you the mind of an entrepreneur, girl? I said, I guess so. and she said, you need to be on radio. And so I had to be ready. And the next week I was on radio. They didn't say, well, come take these classes, come get ready. It was like, come on. The only slot that's available is Wednesday at noon. Let's go. And I went up there and I was ready. Got on radio, but you got to be studying. You got to be prepared. And then you go into your spirituality, your meditation, your mindset, so that for the things that you have no awareness of, that power outside of yourself can cover you, can lay the way for you, can prepare the table for you, can get you set up, can help you when you don't even know that you need help. And so that's the confidence of a winner. That's the determination of a winner. That's the mindset of a winner. We're always working and preparing to win. And no matter what happens, we're winning. So listen to me. It's down to the nanoparticles of the brain. What do I mean? Every step I take is winning. When I breathe in like that, I'm winning. When I breathe out like that, I'm winning. When I move like that, I'm winning. Every move, every breath, every drop of water that I put on my body, every ray of light that I see, every time just a piece of my foot touches the ground, I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. As I swallow this coffee, I'm winning. So everything you do got to be winning. You got to know, like you feel like your heart is going to beat the next second. You're not sitting there mentally trying to control your heart and trying to control your kidneys and try to control your organs. You just know that they're going to work, right? So that's how you got to know that you can be the winner. I don't believe that God brought us into this world for us to lose. He didn't bring you into this world for you to suffer. He didn't bring you in this world for you to hurt and be in pain. I don't believe that. So there's got to be a way. And if our environment is a painful environment, and Black people are masters at this. We live in the hood. We live in areas that people go, ooh, they nasty, but we're the best creators. We're the best singers. We're the best dancers. We're the best inventors. We're the best negotiators. All of that. Out of the pain. And so we're always winning. We're like, we're going to win. We're going to make lemonade out of lemons. But somehow along the way, we forget that. When we start dealing with these big companies and big corporations, and we start watching TV and we see all these influences. I'm going to say this to y'all, and I normally don't say this kind of thing. Stop watching reality TV and pop culture and patterning your life after that. That is a manufactured and created life that is not meant for you and I to mimic. Sorry. So stop using that. Stop looking at how those people dress and say, I'm going to dress like that. Because when they got all of us as women dressing like strippers, when you see us at a party, I think this is so interesting. When the stripper culture became really popular and we started watching them and how they dressed and how they wore their hair and what the makeup was like, and it got popular in pop culture. And I think a lot of us as Black people, we didn't judge it. We just were like, sometimes people do things might not be something that we would do, and it may not be right, but we're okay. We got it. We get it. But as long as they're evolving, and I think the beautiful thing is that you always see, oftentimes these sisters evolve and move to another level, in a lot of cases. But once that style of dress became popular, like in the last 10 years or so, if you could go to a party of corporate professional women, especially Black women, and they'd be all dressed like the popular stripper. Why do we do that? It's because we are so heavily influenced by this pop culture, and this pop culture is not designed to help us win. I'm gonna make this last point before we finish. It's not designed to help us win. How is it not designed to help us win? It's not designed to help us win because it's designed to help somebody else win. Somebody else wins by packaging you up a certain way. Somebody else wins by taking the woman of God and stripping her down and telling her that the less clothes you wear, the more money you can get. Somebody else wins. And so, but we don't know that because we're not at that revelationary frequency. We're not trying to move beyond our intellectual capacity. We're not considering a higher power outside of ourselves. Many of us don't care about that. We don't think it matters. We think that as long as we can go to work and do a good job, and these people at our job tell us we do a good job, that we are winning. But based on that business model, you got to lose in order for those people to win. I'll say it the way Dr. George Fraser says it. Dr. Fraser always says, he says white people, so I'm going to say that. But folks say, I'm going to say it like this. Folks ain't thinking about you. They're worried about their family, their home, their husbands, their wives, their children, their jobs, and your money. So what does that mean? That means that they have to set up conditions so that you give up your resources, you give up your money without thinking. You give it up easily. You give it up quickly. So they're not trying to intellectualize you into being their customer. What they're doing is just saying, we're going to force you subconsciously to be our customer. And when you got many companies competing to do this, now you got this environment that's a predatory environment because each company has to go deeper than the next company. And deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper than the next company. So once you get raunchy, you gotta be raunchier than the last person who was raunchy. So I'm just saying that let's remember that both in business and in life, that pop culture is just that. It's popular culture. Now, in our analysis, do we have to consider that so many of our customers are attached to that culture? Yes, we do. But it doesn't mean that we have to take the business model that we see in pop culture and apply it to our lives. I see people all the time, I'm always coaching them where they're like, they create a business model based on what they see in pop culture. They think the only ways to make money is based on what they see on television. It's either go get a job, and if you say open a business, then they think, okay, let me see who I can hustle. Let me see how much money I can get this person to pay me. Let me see how many people I can trip up over here. And they have no idea, no concept of the different ways in which you can bring resources to yourself. So we're limited. And what happens is pop culture narrows us down to certain professions, to certain ways that we can be and function as Black women. I know Black women who really deep down inside function like they white women. And some people say, well, there's no wrong with that. Maybe not, but it is if that ain't who you are. Anyway, y'all, I hope y'all got that today. Having that winning attitude, that winning determination, but it's deeper than the winning attitude. We have to have winning movements. We have to have a winning a winning way in which we conduct, a winning way in which we plan, a winning way in which we think, a winning way in which we breathe, a winning way in which we talk. Next time you answer your phone like a winner. Next time you walk into a store, walk into the store like a winner. Walk through this life like a winner, and be determined to establish yourself as a winner. Not establish yourself as a winner to the extent that you will do anything, harm anybody. Properly define within a moral standard what winning is, and understand that no matter what happens, you're always winning because you're learning. You're getting more information. You're gathering more data. You're increasing your faith. What is faith? The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The substance is the information. So the more information you get, you start building your faith. You can't say that you got faith in something if you haven't had certain experiences, because you don't really know what you're going to do in that situation. You don't know what your faith looks like until you're faced with something. What did Mike Tyson say? Everybody has a plan until they get hit in the face. You don't really know what you're going to do. So it's the information. And so everything you're doing, you're gathering information. You're sifting through situations and informations and finding the winning strategies, the winning information, the winning data, to the point where you see yourself winning in any situation. I'm looking at a beautiful piece of artwork. I'm winning because I like art. I like the colors. I'm winning because while I'm winning, it's putting me in that vibrational frequency. So when I walk out of this room and I walk through the door, I'm walking through as a winner, walking through life as a winner. And if you go all the way back to the billions and millions of sperm that were emitted from your father, and that one sperm that won the race, that won the fight, and fertilized that egg, you came into this world and you are already a winner. So just continue that winning streak. No matter how things look around you, find remnants where you can win. I don't care if your environment is so bad and you say, all I can do is sit in the corner and breathe. If you can breathe and you can take a breath and you can breathe in this life-giving air, then you're winning. So start there. Start small and keep building. Keep going. I'm still breathing. I'm winning. All right, peace and blessings, family. Y'all see the messages rolling across. Make sure you make a donation via Cash App if you want to $Mo Today, MOETODAY. That helps to support this network and this information. And what I say is, if you're getting anything out of it, learn how to finance your own freedom and your own information. We have a bad habit of wanting everything to be for free, and we can see what free information gets us. Free food and free information kind of go hand in hand. You can find remnants of good things in the basket of free food or in the basket of free information. But if you go and pay for it, you can get exactly what you want. So, all right, family. So you see that going across the bottom. Join the mailing list. Text "Do for Self" to 855-574-9099. That's DO, the number 4, SELF. That's the way we say "Do for Self." Make sure you text that. Join the mailing list. Add the Mind of an Entrepreneur to your Roku TV lineup, and please support the renovation and restoration of the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Get your commemorative Elijah coin today. We need y'all to start getting them right away so that we can start selling chunks of coins at a time. So don't go, I'm gonna wait, because you put us in a situation where we're selling like 1 or 2 a week. Not that we're not grateful for that, but we end up putting that towards the maintenance of the home. We want you all to sell them in bulk so we can get chunks of money so that we can start chunking down on this last 10 to 12% of construction. And it's going to take our more than 1 or 2 coins in order to do that. All right, so peace and blessings, family. Thank you to you all who are in the chat. I see you. Thank you so much for the well wishes. Thank you, Brother Lamont. Thank you, Brother Javon. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Tom. Some of you all I acknowledged earlier. Let's see who else we got here. Let me just see. Tom, Faith, Javon. Oh, y'all lighten up the chat. I couldn't keep up. Sister Alita, hey girl, hey, assalamu alaikum. Sister Amina, assalamu alaikum, hey. Let's see who else we got here. Sister Lakeisha, much needed energy this morning. That's great. Okay, all praises due to Allah. I see Faith and Javon again. Michael Muhammad, welcome. All praises due to Allah. Thank you, thank you. Sister Leisha, the Breakout from Burnout podcast. Welcome, welcome. I see a sister on the picture, so I'm gonna say welcome, sis. Let's see what else we got. Marvelous Marva, Sister Dawn, our experienced rep extraordinaire. Welcome, welcome. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Anthony. Congratulations, Brother Anthony and Sister Karima, Sister Alicia, Brother Shafrin. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining. Go out there, support the renovation and restoration of the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Get your coin. There's so much I got to tell y'all. I cannot wait. I'm just unraveling all the information. But we'll get there. We'll get there and you'll learn it. Wait a minute. Somebody else said something. Let me see what y'all said before I go. I see Sister Alita with the bullseyes. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. Somebody else said something. Y'all are just, it's like moving fast. Okay, hold on. Okay, Brother Anthony said, thank you. Sister Alita said, hey, girl, hey. Okay, y'all. Assalamu alaikum, family. And don't forget, love on somebody today. Walk through this world like a winner, like the winner that you, in fact, know that you are. Love you all. Peace and blessings. Happy Saturday.